Hi, this is a bit of a thing on how to make the most of looking at your ratings on the ANZBGF, Australian New Zealand Backgammon Federation website. Go to ANZBGF.org, or you can go directly there by going to results.anzbgf.org. But if you go to the main website, click on ratings and then ANZBGF. And we're going to keep this fairly general. You could scroll down and look for your club. There's the Brisbane or the Gold Coast clubs, but we're going to just look at generally the overall ratings. And we'll use me as an example. When you jump in, you get an overall view with Hossein at number 1, Simon at number 2, and so on. Just a piss in my own pocket. I did beat Simon in the doubles championships in 2023 with Chris White, Simon and Marikar. So it's a little bit of bragging rights there. And I occasionally beat Steve Roberts. Don't beat Vince so very often. Anyway, what you can do once you're in here, there's a lot of stuff actually. It's quite powerful. The first thing you can do is, if you look at yourself, so you enter your name in there, you might come up with a few people. Fortunately for me, I'm the only Davis. And I can see overall that my rank is number 144. I've got my rating and my experience. So just to go back, if we take that out, now it starts to show everyone, and I can scroll down, and there I am at number 144. But you know, there's a lot of information here, and it's generally a bit easier if you just kind of focus on yourself, I find. So I find myself, I've got my rating. Now I can just throw myself into the chart up there, comparing myself to the top 3. It won't be very impressive, I don't think. No, it's not. But that's okay. It's the trend that I like. We'll get to that. So I want to dig deeper into information about me. First thing to do is to click, even though when you put your mouse over it doesn't change to a pointer, like really it should, click on your name, and we start to get into more interesting stuff. Match report, that's actually what I look like if you ever meet me. And there's a bit of a summary. So my rating at the moment is 1556. Everybody starts at 1500. When you come in, you start at 1500 and you start working your way up or down from there. Also, it's worth noting that, well, so here's my experience is 1002. That's how many points I've ever played for. So even if I lose a match, if a match is worth 5 points, I get an experience of 5. I've played matches worth 1002 points. Generally, your experience is kind of regarded as, if you like, accurate after you've reached an experience of 400. Yeah, I'm sorry, let's go back. Your rating is regarded as accurate, more or less, once you've reached a rating of 400 or more. So if you're under 400 and you can look at your rating, it gives you an idea, but generally after you've reached 400, then it's starting to be you've had enough matches to get your rating to balance out. So you can say I've played 192 matches, I've won 99, it's pretty good, and I've finally cracked over 50%. I'm now winning more often than not. So this is kind of, as I talk about it, you can hear how I use this information. It's quite interesting to me that I'm now winning more often than not, because when you think about it, backgammon's all about statistics. It's all about numbers and counting. So now if I was playing for money, for example, I can kind of count on winning a bit more often than I lose. In theory, I should make a profit. I've played 43 different people. I've played at 2 different clubs. It's actually 3 that I haven't put in Brisbane where we played this week, but that's okay. My first match was on the 4th of February 2022. That was the Australian Championships. That's where I discovered the Gold Coast Backgammon Club. Who knew they existed? My latest match was last night. I'm at my peak. Oh no, I've been at a little bit higher. I've been at 1559. That's my peak rating. And here it comes in. My peak rating greater than 400 is 1556. That's my current rating. So when I first started, we'll get to this in a minute, I started at 1500 and I must have won a couple of matches and jumped up to 1559. But as we'll see on my chart, things aren't always as they appear. My average opponent rating is 1544. So that's interesting as well. Until now, see, last night my rating jumped from 1541 to 1556. So until last night, my average opponent rating was higher than me. I'm now moving up, and I'm now above my average opponent rating, which is both good and bad. I mean, I've really enjoyed playing tougher opponents. Now people are going to really enjoy playing me. So there's a kind of a snapshot of me as a summary, and I find it fascinating. Then we can look at the charts. So you saw what I did there. Click the drop down arrow and it'll open up. And there you can see at the very beginning I won a couple of matches, and then what happened, without dragging this out, what happened was when I started playing at the club, I completely changed my style of playing. I had no idea. I'd been playing for a long time, but had never played competitively. So I completely changed my style. And if you look at my chart, you know, I'm delighted. Look what's happening here. Something's going right at the moment. I'm really happy with my game. Anyway, so I played mostly at Gold Coast, and I played at the Australian Championships twice. Majority of my games have been 5-point. That's looking at the legend, a few 3-pointers. I don't remember playing an 11, but I obviously have somewhere played once. And here's where we get to opponents by rating. Most of my opponents were, you know, if you're rating sort of here somewhere, you can see that all these people are above you. So I'm starting to move my current rating to the right. So I'm getting up into this area. When were my matches played? Well, as I said, I started in early 2022. Most of my matches have been this year. Let's not get into the nitty-gritty of how many per month. Right, so that's a bit of information about what I've done. And then we can get into our match history. And again, it's quite interesting. Scroll up. We can look at 2022 or previous years if you've been playing for longer, or you can look at this year. Red is the ones you've lost, green is what you've won. Here was your new rating after that match. So I played max, I lost, I dropped from 1500 down to 14. Well, let's have a look. If we go back to the very beginning at the championships, I started at 1500. I beat Mick, I beat Sasha, and then I played Joanna, and again, without getting into it, that was an 11-pointer too. How did that happen? I don't know. That was a turning point. Playing Joanna, I went, what the heck? How does this woman play? And for a while, friend Gordon and I would be, what would Joanna do here? And it was just that taking risk and being a bit more aggressive. But that's for another day. So if I come back to this, you can see, you know, I've won, I've lost. Coming up to more recently, yeah, I've won a few more than I've lost, which is good. Now it starts getting interesting as well, because let's use Damien as an example. Sorry, Damien. Down here we've got head-to-head. And we can show only the matches in which I played against. Let's click, and there's Damien. Go. It's a little bit clunky because it kind of takes you back to here. But then if you go into the match history, what happened there? Commonwealth Open 2022. Oh, I thought I'd never beaten Damien. I've beaten him a couple of times in the past. But anyway, this year, Damien has thrashed me. Until last week I beat him, and last night I beat him. So I use this to kind of go, well, no, I don't analyse, but it's like, it's interesting. Chris White is another, my Pipsqueak's partner, doubles champion. Chris won't want to see this, but last year, look at what happened. Chris trashed me. I couldn't beat him. This year, you know, as I've improved, sorry, Chris, he's a lovely bloke. Who beats me a lot? Oh, isn't Steve Roberts? Steve Roberts is an Australian champion. So without going into it too much, you get the idea. You can look at, well, who did I play last night? What happened there? There. Yeah, I don't do particularly well. I can beat Steve, but I've won 4 compared to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He beats me, you know, 2/3 of the time. So excellent. You can have a look head to head. If you want to get out of there, that's a very good question there. Show all. And we're back to looking at everyone. Okay. You want to look at someone in particular? Oh, Ahmed, for example. I can look at Ahmed's charts. You know, it's like looking at yourself. You can look at all Ahmed's stats, Ahmed's charts. And this is where I get a little bit lost sometimes. Okay, match history, he beat me. I want to get back to me, so that's the way to do it. Find me, and then the last thing you can do is you can look at tournament results, and I'm pretty happy with this year. I won last night. I got in the semi-final. I got in the final. I've been the bridesmaid a few times, but I've won. I can see how I've gone this year. Pretty inconsistent, but it'll give information. Okay, so I actually don't think I'd done this. Here's this last night's tournament where I won. If we click on there, oh, there we go. We've got the rounds. Can we click on people? No, we can't. So we can see who played. So last night I played Damien and beat him, and then I played Ahmed and beat him, then I played Chris and beat him, and I was the winner. So that's what I can tell you. If you've got any questions about this stuff, talk to me at the club, because I'm still learning about this. I just wanted to make this video so that people could get an idea of what you can actually do with the ratings. Just to go one other thing, if you go club ratings here, we can go to specifically the Gold Coast group, and that takes out everyone. I usually go don't show guests, because we've got Mick Diet came and visited us, and Joanna comes occasionally, so it changes it a little bit if you don't do that. You can also take out people who haven't played in the last 14 months. I would like to take out separately the last 14 months and fewer than 400. I would like to take out people who haven't played in 14 months, but I'd like to be able to see people who have less than 400. So, for example, who has less than 400? Oh, well, Gordon comes occasionally, has less than 400. If I take this out, it takes Gordon out. I'm pretty happy that I'm now in the top 10. Yippee! Yeah, maybe I'll talk to Simon about that. It'd be a good thing to be able to do. Okay, so that's it. Let's not have this drag on. 15 minutes is more than long enough.